Suppose marketing experts have determined the relationship between the selling price of an item and the cost of an item can be represented by the linear equation Q is equal to negative 30S plus 800, where Q is the quantity sold in a year and S is the selling price. If the cost to produce the item is $20, so the cost to produce an item is $20, what is the selling price that optimizes the yearly profit? So what's the profit going to be? So let me write this down. So our yearly profit is going to be the quantity that we sell in a year. It's going to be the quantity that we sell in a year times the price that we sell it at, times the price that we sell it at, minus the cost of us actually producing that item. And in this case, they tell us it is $20. So for example, if we sell 2 items, if Q is 2 and we sell them for $25, we're going to make $5 on each item because each of them costs us $20 to produce. So 25 minus 20 will be 5. If we sell 2 items at that price, it'll be 2 times 5, or we'll have a profit of $10. So how can we figure out how to maximize this profit? Well, they gave us the quantity as a function of selling price. So we could express the entire profit as a function of selling price. So we could say, we can substitute Q is equal to negative 30S plus 800 right over here. And let's be very clear what this is telling us. This is telling us that if the selling price increases, then this will become a larger negative number. So we're going to sell fewer. We're going to sell a smaller quantity. And if you believe this, and if you actually made the selling price 0, if you just gave away this product, it tells us that we would sell at most 800. So it might not be a perfect model, but let's just use this for, some marketing experts have told us this. So let's just use it. So if we substitute negative 30S plus 800 for Q, we get negative 30S plus 800 times S minus 20 times, let me do this in a different shade of yellow, times S minus 20. This is profit as a function of selling price. And now we can just, let me be very careful here. Let me be very clear. This is Q right here. And so this whole thing is Q. We want to make sure we're multiplying this whole expression times this entire expression right over there. And so let's do that. So this is going to be equal to negative 30S. So let me just distribute it out. This is going to be negative 30S times S minus 20 times this whole thing. We're taking this whole term. We're first multiplying it times negative 30S. And then we're going to take this whole term and then multiply it by 800. S minus 20. And so this gives us, this is equal to negative 30S times S. We have to distribute again. Negative 30S squared. Negative 30S times negative 20 is going to be positive 600S. And then we have 800 times S, so that's plus 800S. And then 800 times negative 20. So that is negative 8 times 2 is 16. And we have 1, 2, 3 zeros. 1, 2, 3 zeros. And if we simplify, we can add these two terms right over here. We get negative 30S squared plus 1400S minus 16,000. So we've now expressed our profit as a function of selling price. And this is actually going to be a downward opening parabola. And we can tell that because the coefficient on the second degree term, on the quadratic term, is negative. So if we were to graph this, so over here, let me draw a better graph than that. Over here, this axis right here is going to be the selling price, and this is profit, which is a function of selling price. This graph this equation right over here is going to look like this. It's going to look something like this. We already saw if the selling price, let me just write it this way. So it's going to look something like this. I don't know what the exact equation is going to look like, but it's going to be downward opening. And what we want to do is maximize the profit. we want to find this maximum point right over here. You could do it with calculus if you had calculus at your fingertips, or you could just recognize this is the vertex of the parabola. And you could figure out the vertex by putting it in vertex form, but the fastest way is to just know that normally the x-coordinate or the s-coordinate of the vertex is going to be negative b over 2a. And if we want to figure out what negative b over 2a is, we just take this is the b right over here, so it's negative b, so it's negative 1400 over 2a, over 2 times negative 30, which is equal to negative 1400 over negative 60. Negatives cancel out. We could divide the numerator and the denominator by 10. So this is the same thing as 140 over 6. We can divide the numerator and denominator by 3. By 2, and you get 70. You get 70 over 3, and then we can just divide that. So 3 goes into 70. 3 goes into 7 2 times. 2 times 3 is 6. Subtract. You get a difference of 1. Bring down the 0. 3 goes into 10 3 times. 3 times 3 is 9. Subtract. You get a 1. Now we're in the decimals. We bring down another 0. It becomes a 10 again. 3 goes into 10 3 times. I think you see where this is going. It's 23.3 repeating times. If we just keep doing this, we're just getting more and more and more 3s. Or if we just wanted to round to the nearest penny, since we're talking about selling something, this optimal profit will happen at a selling price of $23.33. That will optimize the yearly profit.